Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the championship final of the men's 200-meter breaststroke.
World and American records. Keep your eye, though, on lane number 4. Kevin Cordes set a U.S. Open record in the prelims. The young man who will be a senior at the University of Arizona this fall will be swimming out of lane 4.
And that's the fastest time on American soil. And I said a couple years ago this kid was going to be the future of American breaststroke swimming, and he's starting to definitely prove me right with the retirements of guys like Chanteau and Hansen, Gangloff. He's the guy now.
5 of the 8 finalists had a personal best in the prelims. As we take a look at lane number 1, it'll be Matt Elliott, 8th in the Olympic trials. Lane number 2, Cody Miller, the Indiana Hoosier. He was 2nd at the NCAAs just this past year. Stanford grad B.J. Johnson, the 2013 World Championship team member. And of course, Kevin Cordes, as we said, lane number 4. So keep your eye on him and what he'll be able to do here in the men's 200-meter breaststroke final. Lane number 5, it'll be the Georgia Bulldog, Nick Fink. And if the name sounds familiar, his dad, Peter, is the senior vice president at the NBA, runs the All-Star game and the draft. Lane number 6, Cal Bear, Josh Prino. Helped Cal win the NCAA team title this year. Also swimming a personal best in the prelims, DJ McDonald from The Ohio State University. And in lane 8, Will Lacone, a personal best in the prelim, 12th in the NCAAs in this event.
Well, we always center back to Cordes, that top qualifier. What an amazing swim he had this morning in prelims. 2:07.8 time. Very close to the American record, which is held by Eric Chanteau, 2:07.4. Not sure he's going to be, you would think he'd be able to go faster, but the time seemed to settle down at night. You get a little clean water, a little fresh water there in the morning, and then they all kind of bunch up. In the finals, they tighten up because of the races, has more pressure, but he was so far out in front of everybody else, 3 seconds ahead of everybody else, so maybe he can just let it loose and we might see an American record, maybe even a world record, which is 2:07 flat.
So Kevin Cordes in lane number 4. You can catch him with the white cap with the big A for the Arizona Wildcats on it in the center of your screen. Early lead, but getting some pressure just to the left from Nick Fink.
Oh, again, sort of like Michael Lawrence, he led all 4 50s. He was faster than anybody else on each of his 50s in this individual 200. So you know that he's got a perfect race set up to go all 4. And I really think that he's the kind of guy that just needs more experience. Every time he swims long course, it's going to help him. He's the fastest in history in yards. It's perhaps some of the greatest swims I've ever seen in the yards, Todd, when he swam at NCAAs, when he won that 100, 200-yard breaststroke. But he's still learning how to swim meters. He just started swimming long course a couple summers ago. So he still has a lot of improvement to make, and he's out much slower, about a second slower than he went in prelims, about 8/10. So he might be laying back just enough to make sure he's got enough to get home to be on this team, because really that's the bottom line. Times can come down the line, but you really need to put yourself on that team, because once again, going back to what we talked about at the very top of the broadcast, you don't make the team here, you've got to wait until the Olympic trials to be able to make another national team.
Final 50 to go, and it is B.J. Johnson just to Cordes' left who's really giving him the most pressure for the final 50.
Yeah, over a second off this morning, but boy, he's really putting it into a different gear here. The last 50, his last 50 this morning was 33.2. But he's not pulling away. I mean, remember, he was 3 seconds ahead after this morning, and he's got a race here going the last 10 meters.
It is Fink coming up now in lane number 5 as they come to the wall, and it's gonna be Cordes who gets it at the line. Nick Fink will grab 2nd, and Josh Prino grabs 3rd. So a personal best for Nick Feet. Kevin Cordes gets the win, and Prino with a great closing time comes down that last 50 to grab third place.
And that's the best time for Prino. But this is what we've seen, Todd, over and over again in these finals at the Nationals. They just kind of come back to the group, and here's Kevin Cordes. He forces that water backwards so well with his kick, gets great distance per stroke. You never sacrifice that great distance per stroke for speed, and he doesn't do that. You can see he kind of just slips that head between his biceps, draws those hips up. He doesn't lose his body line. He just didn't have the snap he did in the prelims. He didn't just have the free will to be able to do what he wanted to as he did in the prelims. He kind of came back to everybody else, and this is, again, just learning how to swim this race. It's an education here for Kevin Cordes. I still think he's got so much left ahead of him. He's got a couple years to figure it out until Rio and an important meet in Australia in a couple weeks.
So the final results in the men's 200-meter breaststroke look like this. Kevin Cordes gets the win, 2:09.48, well off his prelim time earlier today. Nick Feet second, and Josh Prino in third. Kevin Cordes now standing by with Carolyn.
Well, Kevin, you set a U.S. Open record this morning in prelims with a really fast swim. How satisfied were you with your race just now?
You know, I'm happy. I made the team. You know, did what I had to do this morning, and then came and finished it tonight.
Your coach, Rick Dumont, has been saying long and strong. What does that mean to you? Has that been your mantra?
Yeah, definitely. Just working on stroke counts in practice. And, you know, just coming out here trying to do as few strokes as possible, be as efficient as possible.
Congratulations to you on making the team.
Thanks.
Yep. Oh, stop. Yep. Missy Franklin, we've seen her win, we've seen her dance, and then we saw her dance again. Coming up, Missy Franklin in the pool for the women's 200-meter backstroke when we return to Irvine, California.
As the leaves turn brown, and we could be together, baby, as long as skies are blue. You act so innocent now, but you lied so soon.
To present these awards, please welcome back Irvine's own Olympic gold medalist, Amanda Beard. Your 8th place finisher from Peoria area, Water Wizards, Matt Elliott. From Nitro Swimming, finishing in 7th place, Will Lacombe. Your 6th place finisher from Badger Swim Club, Cody Miller. In 5th place from Ohio State University, DJ McDonald. Fourth place finisher from Palo Alto Stanford Aquatics, BJ Johnson. Your 3rd place finisher with a final time of 2:10.43, representing California Aquatics, Josh Pruneau. In 2nd place with a final time of 2:09.62 from Athens Bulldog Swim Club, Nicholas Fink. Your 2014 Phillips 66 national champion in the men's 200-meter breaststroke with a winning time of 2:09.48 from Tucson Ford Dealer Aquatics, Kevin Cordes. Ladies and gentlemen, your top 8 finishers in the men's 200-meter breaststroke and your champion, Kevin Cordes.